Okay, so far, anyone got any questions here, all right, where you want to know anything about IRB or the deadlines and things like that? Any questions? Anybody would like to just raise your concern?
Not on that part.
Not on that part. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at the other area that is for the employment provident fund. Right? What are the things that is actually available? Right? One is the I Lestari withdrawal. All right. For I withdrawal Lestari, you are supposed to start. You can start withdrawing from 1st April. You can actually submit the application for I Lestari withdrawal starting 1st April 2020. And then you can actually get about 500 ringgit per month for a period up to 12 months. That means 1 year, right? Subject to that you have enough balance in your account too during this period when you actually apply for these facilities. So withdrawal can be made uh, within a period of 1 year, all right, starting April 2020 until March 2021, right, subject to that you have enough funds in your account too. Okay, payment will begin, right, when they receive the application, right, from you, right, by the EPF, and then you can receive your payment right up to, and I mean, till March 2021, and they will start paying from May onwards, May 2020 onwards, okay. And then how do you actually go about to actually apply? You can go online, right? You can use e-pengeluaran or via i-account. Right? You only have to apply once, or by email to ilesarimohon@epf.gov.my, or you can also register by post, right, to Kumpulan Simpanan Pekerja Karung Berkunci. So they have also given the address number 220 Jalan Sultan 46720 PJ. Pengeluaran Air Lestari, right? This is if you want to go for your Air Lestari, right? These are the link where you can actually apply. Okay, who are eligible, right? Here, permanent resident, right, Malaysian citizen, and you must be below 55 years old, and you have savings in account too. And then they are actually planning to give these facilities to non-Malaysian citizens, right? That will come under phase 2. Right, payment for I-Lestari withdrawal is limited to only 500 per month and credited monthly to your bank account, right? Okay, for employees, statutory contribution reduced to 7%. That means as an employee, right, you can actually, you are supposed to pay only 4% and not the 11%. But the employer's portion is still the same, that they have to maintain the statutory requirement by EPF, that is 13%. And then the new rate will take effect starting from April 1st, 2020, right? And those who are above 60 who are actually employed, right, the rate will remain at 0%. Right. So let's say if you decide not to actually pay 4%, you want to still maintain 11%, right? So you can actually, you can also, you have to complete form notice pilihan melebihi kadar berkanun KWSP 17A has. So you have to, if you decide not to reduce the your portion of it, right? Then you can actually maintain. You are allowed to maintain. So the reason why they want to reduce by 7% is basically to have more disposable income, especially a lot of them will be losing job or there's pay cut and stuff like that. So to actually help the cash flow of the employees, government has come up with this proposal. Okay, the other one is Employer Advisory Services Program. So EPF have actually come up with this EAS program, right? Introduced by the Employees Provident Fund on 15th April, right? This service will benefit employers, right, to maintain cash flow, right? and they are expected to have a cash flow surplus of 10 billion, right, where employers can delay their payment, then they can actually do some restructuring, right, of the EPF contribution to EPF, and you can also reschedule the employer's contribution. So I'll give you the details shortly, right, where it was announced yesterday, right, where SMEs to defer and restructure employer contribution through ECAP. They've come up with ECAP, allows eligible SMEs the flexibility to choose to apply for a deferment and restructuring of employee share of EPF contribution for April, May, and June 2020, right? The deferred contribution for the respective month of choice can be settled over a maximum period of 3 months, right? So SMEs who chooses to apply to defer their April contribution, their restructured payment will start from July. If you want to defer your May, then it will start from August, right? And maximum up to 3 months, ending September. That means you're talking about July, August, September, or it's going to be August, September, October, or it can be September, October, November, and it will go on as such, depending on your cash flow position. Okay, how do you go about to apply for ECAP, right? ECAP can be applied through account, employer's account from yesterday onwards, from 23rd April 2020 onwards. SMEs must ensure their application for the previous month is approved before they can submit a new application. And another condition is, right, to be eligible for ECAP, SMEs employers must have 200 employees or less on payroll. And here again, you have to ensure monthly contribution payment up to February. That means your last February payment, you have actually paid already, right? If you have delayed payment, then you cannot actually go for these restructuring facilities and all that. So you have to update, right, all your contribution as an employer, right? So ensure the employee's share of the payment for the contribution month being applied for April, May, or June has been paid. Okay, so make sure your February payment contribution, right, is paid to LSD. I'm sorry, to EPF. Then you can actually go for ECAP. Okay, so when you talk about when are you supposed to pay, and you know that March, actually we have been under MCO since 18th March 2020. Right, for the March salary, you're supposed to pay on the 15th April. So now they have actually extended, right, to 15th May, immediately after your MCO, right, that is going to end on the 12th May 2020. Okay, that's for the on the EPF side, right? So now let's look at on the PECOSO, Okay, so one of the program, right, the government has come up, right, in the stimulus package is the wage subsidy program. I think Dora is actually a bit concerned on this part of it, where the government has actually allocated 13.8 billion, 13.8 billion. Right, one of the reasons for them to come up with this subsidy program is to avoid employees being fired and losing their income. All right, so that means, you know, a lot of these SME, SMIs at this point of time, you want to go and ask for your payment, especially from your customer, it's going to be very, very difficult. And, you know, a lot of these big boys like and then public listed company, GLCs and all that, actually now they are taking advantage of the SME, SMIs, and they are not actually paying their what you call sales, or I mean whatever that is due to you. So, and you know it's going to be very tough because there's no sales, right, for the past couple of years if you are not in the essential services and all that. So it is going to be tough for you, right? So this is where the government has come up to help to at least make sure the employees are being paid and they are not fired for minimum at least 6 months. It is not automatic, right? So it's not, you don't take for granted that your SME government is not just going to pay you the wage subsidy program. There's some criteria that you have to actually follow, whereby you have to register with Pekeso. Right? Employees can sign up at Pekeso's website starting from 1st April 2020 to September 31st. So that means if you have not actually applied, they've given you up to September 31st for you to take advantage of this subsidy program. Subsidy will be transferred to the employer's account, not to the employee's account. There's a lot of questions that has been raised by a lot of companies where they were asking whether that money will be going to the employees. No, it will be going to the employer. Then employer will have to prepare the payroll. When they're paying the payroll, right, they will actually, if let's say if the employer is kind enough, he wants to actually pay this subsidy plus a full salary, that will be great. But if let's say this portion of it, they can pay from the subsidy, the balance, right, they can actually support. To qualify for the subsidy, right, the subsidy is only for employees whose salary is below 4,000 ringgit. All right. And then the employees have been registered with SSM, right, or local. So sorry, the employers. This is a spelling mistake. Employers must be registered with SSM or local authority and contributed Employment Insurance Scheme, EIS. And you have to also prove that your sales has actually come down by about 50%. I know if you can take for granted, basically, there's no such thing as 50%. Some of the companies, right, the sale has dropped, right, much more. That is even 0%. That means there's not, there's no sales at all, right? I know quite a number of my friends who are actually running the accounting firm and IT firms and all that. There's zero business, right? So most of them can be eligible. As long as you can prove that there's a decrease of income by more than 50%, you'll be eligible. Right, employees can sign up for the wage subsidy program, right? And one of the conditions is they cannot lay off staff, right? That means you cannot sack them and then you actually forget it. Cannot, and their staff will be working, your employees will be working. They cannot force workers to take unpaid leave, right? They cannot cut their workers. These are the initial, when they initially came up with the wage subsidy program, these are the conditions that they have actually put to the employers. But now they have actually relaxed the condition as well, whereby I will be going through with you all the next slides, right, where you can actually talk terms to your employees, right, ask them to agree for pay cut, right, or unpaid leave, right, or what you call it's a win-win situation if, as long as the employees are agreeable and you do not actually go against the Employment Act, right, then you are allowed to actually you can talk to your employees to request for pay cut or to go on unpaid leave and things like that. All right, and if you are under the wage subsidy program, you cannot sack your staff for at least minimum 6 months. Okay, here, what are the other things that you have to actually follow, right? For companies with who have got more than 200 workers or more, the subsidy that is given by the government is 600 ringgit per head, per worker, right? Or let's say your company has a staff strength of between 76 to 200, you will be entitled, right, up to 800 ringgit per head. And companies with where your headcount is less than 75 workers, right, then you will be entitled up to 1,200 per head, right? The aid would be given for a duration of 3 months, all right? They will support all companies for 3 months who are registered with the SSM before 1st January 2020. So what are the things that you are supposed to actually provide to SOCSO or Pekeso when you apply for this scheme, right? You have to give them the list of all your employees, right? The name of the employees, right? And then your bank account, all right, your bank statement, your company's bank statement, only the first page is sufficient. And then your business registration number, all right, and then your SSM registration certificates such as Form 9, Form 13, Form 24, Form 49. You not restrict to 9 and Form 13, but you can also support with your Form 24 as well as also Form 49. Okay. Okay, and here, if let's say your company has got a headcount of more than 76 employees, right? You have to actually give them additional supporting documents such as a PNL, right? Your revenue report, right? And things like that. So these documents need to be verified by management. That means it more or less like the directors or the CEO or the MD has to certify, that what you are actually submitting is true and fair, right? And there's no any false documentation that you're submitting and things like that. Some kind of a certification that they require from the company's management team, right? Okay, here, as I did mention to you, right, earlier when they came up with the subsidiary program, they were a bit stringent where we're talking about you can't take this. I mean, you cannot ask your staff to go for pay cut, or you cannot ask your staff to go on unpaid leave and stuff like that. But now they have actually relaxed that condition, right? So here, the government, right, allow, right, the employer to engage, right, with your employee, on terms and condition, on the option to uh, option for your pay cut or your unpaid leave. And here, both employers and employees can seek advice from the Department of Labor, I mean Labor Ministry, on any issues raised. And then the negotiation should be subject to employment law, right? And then you have to get the written consent from the employees that they agree for the pay cut or unpaid leave, right? During the MCO, right? You have to get the consent from the employees. That's very, very important, right? If you don't get consent and then you just bulldoze your way through, then it may work against you, right? They may recover that whatever that they've given you, the subsidy, they may revoke. So you have to be a bit careful, okay? So any questions here on the social precursor part?
Okay, when in the terms we are actually less than 75 packs.
Okay.
Employees in Johor itself, in all of Malaysia, including ourselves.
Can you
So,
speak a bit louder, please?
our companies actually have employees less than 75 packs.
Okay.
That includes our sales rep.
Okay.
So, are we still falls under the category of submitting our
No,
income?
no, no, no. This is only for those employees where I mean where companies where they have got employees more than 75 and above, right? If let's say if it's less than 75, all right, the earlier requirement is sufficient.
Okay.
Hamsaveni, any question?
I would like to share if let's say we go for volunteer unpaid leave, which
Okay.
is agreed for both party, is it still eligible to get this scheme?
Yes, yes, you will be eligible, all right? Even if you are going on, if you have got mutual understanding between your employees, right, and the employer, and they have also given the consent, you will still be eligible, right? This is a subsidy, right? This is to support, right, for you to, I mean, for them to, don't want, and the only condition that the company must comply is that you have to keep them for minimum 6 months. That's all. All right. If you take advantage of this for 3 months, after that you actually sack them, and actually then they may actually revoke this subsidy.
Okay. One more question. If let's say previously we actually apply for ERP,
Okay.
and then then now only we get the information that if let's say we go for volunteer unpaid leave, we can apply for wages subsidy. Is it
Okay.
possible for coming next month we could changing to the wages subsidy, or we have to maintain as a ERP? Because as I know, if we are getting ERP, not eligible to get wages subsidy. Is it correct?
Okay. Okay. You have to weigh, which is going to be beneficial to your company. All right.
Of
If the
course,
wage subsidy is more beneficial, then you can actually discard your ERP, and then you actually apply for your wage subsidy. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Okay. Any other question? Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Santa.
Yeah.
Through here.
Yeah.
Okay, we already applied for the wage subsidy, but
Okay.
I saw one of the condition is, okay, number one, we need to keep the staff for 6 months. So that one I
Correct.
understand.
Yeah.
Second one is, we cannot reduce the pay of the staff for the 6 months as well.
No,
Which
that was the initial. Initially, they have actually one of the conditions that was the initial when they introduced the pay subsidy, but now they have actually relaxed.
Oh, relax.
They
Means
have relaxed,
we
yeah.
can still negotiate with them to tell
Yes.
them, can you accept a lower pay for
Yes.
the next 6 months?
Yeah, you know why? Because the government is going to support you only for 3 months.
Correct, 3 months.
And then you still have to support them for another 6 months. One of the requirements is to keep them for for 6 months at least. And then there's no any revenue, there's no any sales, right? And you're forced to actually keep them for another 3 months, and it's going to hit your cash flow, right? So that's why the government is actually a little, they are a bit more considerate now because they can understand, right? Come August, August, September, July, August, September, and all that, things are not going to be good, So, it's not such thing that, tomorrow, like you can turn around the company and all that, because it's a domino effect, right? So, slowly, that's why even when you talk about the MCO, they're talking about soft landing. What do you mean by soft landing is slowly along the, like you see Penang, right? They have actually announced effective May, they're going to let this laundry they're going to let go laundry. If you are running a laundry business, you can actually open up your laundry business and all that. So likewise, through MITI, they will slowly over a period they will let go few other services, right? So when you talk about those in the education industry and all that, they cannot right up to July, so they can go only on online stuff like that. So in that sense, the revenue or your sales would definitely be affected. Therefore, the government has actually relaxed the requirement already.
Okay, so I think in that case, we can try to negotiate with them. I know we immediate effect, you think?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. It's not an offense, not a problem. As long as they don't go to the labor ministry and complain about their company. As long as you can actually, convince the staff, but make sure you get a letter that has been signed by them, the consent letter from them later, because they may take up the case against your company in the future. So to protect your company, you make sure you get a letter of consent from the employees.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question regarding one of the requirements for this program. So, because let's say if I have a staff of 50 people,
Okay.
so only those that are earning below 4,000, I can
Correct.
apply for this program, right?
Yes. It must be less than 4,000, yeah.
Okay, so if let's say 30 of them have, because if I introduce a wage reduction for 6 months for all the staff, and I get this wage subsidy for 30 people, can I distribute them among the 50 people?
It's a good question that actually even okay, let's look at on a common okay. My concern, why, like you see, because you're working with a lot of people, they know that only 30 will be eligible. That means they are paid less than 4,000. And then if you're going to distribute, that could be, it can have some adverse impact, all right, because one of the criteria here that they spell out precisely is 4,000 and below. So if you're going to take this and then share with the others where who are getting more than 4,000, I don't think government will allow. I don't think so. So this one, what you can do, all right, maybe you can actually, as you know, you can't write in your email also. None of them are actually doing. So you have to check with Pekeso. I'm not here at this point of time. Maybe I can check for you and can give you the email and all that. But at this point of time, I'm not in a position to actually disclose on this on your question at this point of time. All right, maybe you have to check with Pekeso.
Okay. Because the reason I'm asking is our pay reduction scheme is different percentages for different pay group. So those that were earning less will get deducted less. So from the way we calculated it, if we get the subsidy, it is enough to distribute to all of them and to get back the same pay before the pay deduction.
No, when you talk about the subsidy, here they're talking about 4,000 and less. That means you cannot redistribute. You should not distribute to those who are earning more than 4,000. Though they may fall below 4,000 after your pay cut. Maybe you're talking about 25-30% pay cut and all that. So they may be earning about 5,000 and now they will be getting only about 4,000 or maybe 3,000 plus. All right, I know where you're coming from, but this you have to check with Pekeso or check with the Labor Department.
Okay.
I'm not in a position at this point of time to actually to say yes or no. Right? I think you have to do a little bit of homework to check with the right agency. I'm sorry, actually, I'm not in a position to share. I mean, to give you the right or wrong answer. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions? All right, if you've got no question, then we can move on to the other areas, all right, for the deadline. Okay, for the Pekeso, all right, your sitting deadline is 30th April, right? So now they have actually extended to 31st May, right, 2020, right, for your social pay, contribution for the month of March. So they've moved it to 31st May. You have to actually keep watch, right? Maybe they may extend because only yesterday they announced on the extension of the MCO to 12th of May. So this deadline, maybe you have to check. But from what I have the latest, right, they have actually extended to 31st May 2020, provided they are not going to extend the MCO further, right? Okay, let's look at the HRDF side, on the HRDF side. Okay, for HRDF side, very straightforward, where registered employees are exempted from paying the HRDF levy for a period of 6 months, effective 1st April to 2020 to September 2020. Okay, as you know that your levy is between 0.5% to 1%, right? So you did not worry. And then when you talk about who do qualify, employers from all 63 subsectors stipulated under the following sector, that is under manufacturing, services, mining and quarrying. All right, so when you talk about is what you call exemption period, all right, all employees are required to pay the February 2020 levy contribution on or before 30th April, but now it is actually move on to 15th of May, 15th of May, right? And employers are required to commence payment of September 2020 levy contribution on or before 15th October. So they have actually given exemption right up to September. Okay. Okay, levy areas repayment. So if let's say there is any areas, right, this exemption does not apply to levy areas repayment. So only the current payment they actually give exemption, but not for the areas payment. So employers with outstanding levy areas are advised to continue paying the areas without delay in order to avoid being penalized with further interest. So that means you will be imposed interest, right? If let's say if there's an arrears, right, they are not. So the current one, okay, they've given you exemption for 6 months. Okay, here another thing, right, that the government has come up with is matching grant, where they have come up with 100 million on a matching grant, right, to HRDF to fund employees, especially those who are affected in the tourism and other sectors, dollar to dollar. That means you contribute $1, government will contribute $1 for upskilling and things like that. So government also will provide another 50 million to subsidize short courses in digital skills and highly skilled courses. Now Lazada is coming up to help a lot of SMEs and SMIs and all that. So they are also coming up some free offers and all that. So you can also share with some of your friends who are actually running SMEs and all that to take advantage of these digital skills that is being offered right through MDEC. MDEC is actually offering that. Right, you can go to the MDEC website. You can actually get all this information. Okay. Okay, the levy contribution, as I did mention to you, right, exempted. Right, exempted, complete. No need to worry about paying the HRDF. Right. Okay. Okay. Next, all right, on companies commission, SSM, right? Your financial statement filing, right? They have also extended. The government has agreed to extend the financial statements filing period of companies with the financial year ended 30th September to 31st December 2019 for 3 months, right? So your filing, your financial filing is extended for another 3 months. Companies have to apply for this extension at SSM, then they are not going to charge any fee. Okay, I think this is where the company secretary will actually handle on behalf of your company. Okay, the other one is where they have also given an extension of 30-day moratorium for submission of statutory documents. As it is difficult for companies to submit statutory documents during MCO, the government will grant 30 days from the last date of the MCO. That is basically you're talking about our last day of MCO is going to be 12 12 September, 12 May. Alright, so they have given 1 month 30 days moratorium, so you have to actually submit all your documents, essential documents by 12 June 2020. Okay, here this is where we are talking about customs, customs department, right? The statutory deadline, right? So that's why here the statutory deadline they come up with 13th May, right? This was actually I don't know how they got this information. I think much earlier that they are going to extend the MCO right up to 12 May. So they are extending their deadline. They have given 13 May, right? This also you can actually time to time call up customs to find out, right? I don't know whether they are going to still extend the MCO or what, right? So you have to touch base with customs to find out when it's going to be the payment due for sales and service tax as well as the social tourism tax. Okay. Okay. Any questions here on the Picasso, on the HRDF, on RMCD? Okay. If you got no question, I don't want to actually delay, right? The training or the. So here we are talking about what are some of the incentives given by TNB, right, for non-resident customers, right? They have given 15% discount from 1st April to 30th September. If let's say you are within this particular industry, like hotel operators, travel and tourism agency, shopping complexes, convention centers, theme parks, local airline offices. And then when you talk about commercial, other than those 6 selected sectors, industrial and agriculture, they've given a blanket of 2% discount. So here they actually tell you exactly how they work. Let TNB do the calculation. So for timing, we did not worry about how they go about to compute the discounts and all that. For residential, right, that means for you and me, right, as an individual, all right, for the first 200 kilowatts, 50% off. Another 200 to 300, 25% off, 300 to 600, 15% off, anything more than 600 kilowatts, right, is 2%. Today I was actually hearing one guy from TNB was actually talking, the consumption, right, in the houses has actually gone up more than what it used to have, because everybody is at home, everybody is using aircon and all that, right? So this is a discount. That's the discount from TNB side. Okay. Okay. The other one is for Employment Insurance Scheme, EIS, right? They've actually increased the training cost from 4,000 to 6,000. So you can claim now up to 6,000. Earlier it was 4,000. Now they have actually increased. And then the daily training allowance is also 30 ringgit per day to be provided to trainees under EIS. Okay, the deadline, right, when you're supposed to pay your contribution, right, is okay. Oh, sorry, I did not update this. It is 31st May, 31st May. In fact, I'm sorry, I was rushing to update some of the items, but I mean, later I will actually update this, and then I will actually email to all of y'all, right, all the slides. I know it's a bit difficult for you to actually remember whatever that I've been discussing with you, but I will email all the slides to Malaysian Export Academy. So I will, after the talk, immediately I will I'll update this one or two information, and subsequently I'll email to all of you all through MEA, right? Okay. Okay, now let's look into, right, for SMEs. This is more for the what you call funding. That means how you want to go take up loan, right, from micro to from commercial banks and all that. So I'll go through with y'all all the funding facilities. That means what are the funds that is being announced by Bank Negara as well as the government of Malaysia through the stimulus package for COVID-19. Okay, they have allocated 13.1 billion to SMEs in sustaining business operations and preserving jobs, as well as to support economic growth. One of the, the relief fund, right, of facilities is special relief facilities, all right, COVID special relief facilities, right, where they have actually allocated 5 billion, right, and then the financing rate is 3.5% if you're going through a commercial bank, right. So earlier it was 3.75, now they have actually brought down by 2.5%, so it is 3.5%, all right, if you want to apply for the loan, right. And then you have got another facility, so right, where they call it as all economic sector, right, where they have actually allocated 6.8 billion, and then the rate, financing rate is 7%, right. And then when you talk about, they have got micro credit scheme, 700 million allocated, and then financing rate is 0%. Then Untitled program, right, it is another 600 million that they've allocated, right. Basically, here, the financing rate to be advised, right, that means when you actually apply for this loan, right, you can talk to the agency, and then they will actually propose to you what is going to be the financing rate. Right, so all in all, right, which I've already disclosed to you earlier, the initial what you call slides, the total amount that they've actually going to be reimbursed in terms of financing fund for SMEs is 13.1 billion. And then the other facilities they are talking about is automation and digitalization facilities. They call that as ADF. Then the agro-food facilities. And then they have got the micro enterprises facilities, which I will go through with you all in detail one by one. What are the objectives? What's the purpose of the funds? And then what's going to be the amount of funds that each SME can actually apply and stuff like that. Okay, and then when you talk about you want to apply for the microcredit scheme, right, you must contact the BN personnel in order to apply. So there's also some scams going on. You have to be a bit careful. And BSN has actually given, right, the officer's name. They've also given their handphone number, and they have also given the email ID, right, email address and all that, right, for nationwide. That means when you talk about Sabah, Sarawak, Perlis, Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, Selangor, all the states, they have actually given the details. And you can check in the Google, right? You can see cara memohon. Under that, memohon BSN loan or microcredit, you can actually go into the Googles and then you go into the BSN website and then cara memohon. And there you can get the list of all the officers' names and all that. I don't know whether it's still there, but I've actually downloaded. Right, I've actually downloaded. Maybe what if you all are very, I mean, you all do want all these officers' names and all that, I can WhatsApp to MEA, right? Maybe they can, I can ask them to help to distribute to all the participants who are here, right, for this training. Yeah, so I think I will do that for you all. What I'll do is I'll ask MEA to email all these slides. At the same time, I'll WhatsApp to IZ. IZ can help to actually WhatsApp to all participants. Please give them your handphone number, then he can WhatsApp. You will have all the details of all these officers, and then you can actually contact them. All right, two things. When you want to go and apply for this loan, right, the feedback that I got is sometimes they ask you to apply online, right? So when they apply online, then you get a reply from these officers. They say they cannot actually get all the documents because the documents are, too large. All the information too large. So they ask you to go to the nearest BSN branch to submit the hard copy, right? So you can go to the nearest BSN office to go and give, and you look at, for all the BSN Cawangan branches, you have got the names and all that. That names actually I will support, right? I'll give it to you all. You can actually call the officer in charge, try to make appointment or try to submit the application. I want to share with you before I move on to this part, the financing. According to the Minister of Finance, right, they have actually, banks has actually given out 2.75 billion, out of 13.1 billion, 2.75 billion given out as at 15th April 2020. That means they have actually disbursed to about more than 5,000 SMEs already. So you don't wait, right? You have to be fast. Though it is under MCO, but if you want to take advantage of this loan and all that, all right, please move to apply, right, for this loan early. Because I know for sure you need funds, right, to support the staff and support your business, support your sales and all that in the month of June, July, August and all that, right? Those are I know a number of them are from the finance department, all right? Please try to get all these documents. Basically, you're talking about business registration and then Form 24, Form 29, Form 49, and then the bank, your bank statement, and then your agreement, right? Tenancy agreement. And then if you have got your management account for 2019, you support with the management account. If you have got an audited account for 2018, then you can support with the audited account, right? And then whatever, let's say you have got some contracts with some PLCs or GLCs and all that, that you're supporting them and all that. So whatever information that you have, you can submit all this information to actually get this loan out. And please try to do as fast as possible, right? Because the funds are exhausting, very, very fast. Okay, what are the things that you have to support? Company registration, copy of IC of directors, bank statement, and then other documents if they need. Okay, then when you talk about micro credit scheme, right, they have actually allocated 500 million, right? It is interest free, under Bank Simpanan Nasional, and then loan eligibility, what they're trying to say, minimum of 6 months of operation, minimum. Let's say if you are earlier under the conventional way or the traditional way of you seeking for financing from banks, normally they'll ask you that for 3 years audited accounts, and they ask you for management accounts and things like that. But now they have actually relaxed, in a sense, relax the requirement, right? Bank Negara has actually requested all banks, right, to relax the requirement, right, whereby even you're in the business for about 6 months, that means you have just started the business maybe in April or May 2019, right, and you have not actually got all the audited accounts and all that, you don't have, but you are still eligible, all right, because you're already in business for more than 6 months. So even you're a new company, right, you are just starting your business, you are also eligible. Okay, for microcredit scheme, financing amount is 75,000 per entrepreneur. All business sectors, including taxi operators, bus operators, all right, and any industry, online traders and all that are eligible to apply for this loan, which is they can pay up to 75,000 per entrepreneur. This is more for the microcredit. Then Tekun, right, also they have actually waived the interest. Now for Tekun National Microcredit Scheme, right, they have allocated 200 million and now it is interest free. Unlike earlier, it used to be 4%, but now if you are applying for Tekun, it's interest free. Okay, here I did mention to you earlier about 2.1 billion has been allocated for micro SMEs, where they are targeting about 700,000 companies to benefit right from here. And here again, they will actually what you call through SSM and through LHDN and through the local authorities and all that, they will get all the names of all the SMEs and then they will be giving the grant, but they have not given any indication it's going to be in the form of cash or in the form of benefit in kind. So those SMEs, all right, please try to look out for this $3,000 grant. Okay, when you talk about my licensed money lenders, right, there's also a moratorium. Let's say you are borrowing money, right, not alone, right, you are borrowing money and they are money, licensed money lenders, right, but then they are supposed to give you 6 month moratorium period from April. Okay, the Licensed Money Lender Association as well as the Pawn Brokers Association have agreed to 3 months moratorium to ease the burden of borrowers. Licensed money lenders registered with the ministry had agreed not to impose late charges throughout the movement control period. So for money lenders as well as also the pawnbrokers, right, they are not supposed to charge you for penalties for late payment and stuff like that. Okay, the other thing, government laying cooperation to provide rental exemption or rental discounts to SMEs. Private premises owners entitled to tax exemption if they give a rental discount exceeding 30%, which we have already gone through much earlier under LHDN. Okay, the other one is where you have got SME where you are already in business and it's less than 4 years. You can apply through Business Mulai I and Miss Wanita, right? And it will be supported by CGC, all right? And you can actually request for financing up to 300,000. Yesterday, all right, I was actually giving a talk and one of the participants said that they have actually got $250,000 what you call loan, right? By they applying through this Mulai, right? And so that means what I'm trying to tell you now is they've already start dispersing already the money already. Okay. Okay. The other one is Syarikat Jaminan Perbian Perniagaan (SJPP) will provide 5 billion guarantee and increase the guarantee. Those days, the CGC guarantee for SME was 70%. Now they have actually increased to 80%. So that means for commercial banks, their exposure is only 20% and not 100%. So, and even when, you know, there's one article came out in Star where you can actually register with RHP and then they will call you. And one of my friends, they received a call from the RHP officer over the phone and they were actually telling that, you know, you are not eligible and things like that. He did not submit any documents, but they just can cut them off, right? So if you have such a case, please report to the respective banks, right? They are not the decision maker, right? You have to actually, I mean, this is where they are demoralizing, right? All these SMEs, SMIs, right? As it is, they are going through a lot of problems, right? And bankers are actually taking advantage and they are also claiming that, you know, BSN is actually going and asking for some commission before they approve the loan and all that. I think these are all fake news. Please don't trust all this, right? I'll give you the right link, right? And you go to the right link. I think you should, I mean, you should be able to get all these facilities, right? Without going to third party. And then there's a lot of scammers, right? They're taking advantage, all right? Please don't fall prey to these scammers, right? You have to be a bit careful when you're actually applying for loan. Make sure you're applying through the right channel. Okay, here again, right, for SMEs, right, if you are employing foreign workers, right, 25% reduction in foreign workers levy, right, from 1st April to 31st December 2020. And this reduction does not apply for domestic workers. Okay, let's look at all these various facilities, right? The one which they have actually initiated is the special relief facilities. They call that as SRF COVID-19, right? This is one of the facilities that is being given to the SMEs. Allocation 5 billion. Okay, here the objective is to elevate short-term cash flow problem, right? Short-term cash flow problem. One minute, cash flow problem faced by SME affected by COVID-19 outbreak, right? And no collateral, and it's free funding. Okay, eligible Malaysian SME affected by COVID-19 outbreak. The purpose, working capital. And then financing rate, right, is up to 3.5% inclusive of what you call, okay, sorry. Up to 3.5%. Earlier it was 3.75%. Now it is 3.5%. This is one of the things where special relief facilities, SRF. Remember that. Okay. The next one that I'm going to go through with you is right. It's going to be all economic sector facilities. Right. The allocated amount, right, where they're giving. I mean, they allocated 6.8 billion. Right. And where when you talk about economic sectors, include that of primary, secondary, and tertiary. Yeah. So for all other sectors, right, you can actually go through the AES facilities. The objective here is to enhance, right, to access to financing for SMEs in all economic sectors, in particular underserved SMEs, and to support. So this is going to be the objective, right? So eligibility, Malaysian SMEs, right? The purpose, you can also use this for capital expenditure, not only just for the working capital, but capital expenditure, right? As well as also for working capital purposes. Financing rate, it is up to 7% inclusive of guarantee fee. Increases of any guarantee fee is up to 7%. Maximum financing amount 5 million per SME, right? They give you up to 5 million. Period is for 5 years, right? And it is available, so that they did not give you any deadline. Right? You can apply for the loan anytime. Maybe you can apply in October, November, December, right? So it's open, but it's good for you to apply early for reason because if the funds can be exhausted, because the amount that they have actually allocated is 6.8 billion. Once it's exhausted, then you may not be getting this loan. So you have to be fast. All right, the other one is micro enterprise facilities, right? Or they call that as MEF, allocation 300 million, right? The objective is to increase access to collateral-free financing for micro enterprises. Eligibility, Malaysian micro enterprise, and then you can use purpose can be both for capital expenditure as well as the working capital. All right, and then the financing rate, right? It will be decided by the financial institution. So I don't know if it's not. I mean, they are not. I mean, they did not disclose, right? What's the actual rate, but you can discuss with the financial institution that you are actually applying. Okay, so for eligibility, all Malaysian micro enterprises, right? Okay, financing rate to determine by participating financial institution. And the other one is agro-food facilities, right? And so they have actually allocated 1 billion. 1 billion. The objective is to increase, right, agro-food production for Malaysia and for export purposes. Eligibility, Malaysian SMEs, right? And then it can be used for both capital expenditure, right, or working capital, or at the same time, right, if there's any development opportunity on agro-food projects, you can actually apply for this loan. Financing rate, right, it is 3.75%, right, inclusive of any guarantee fee. Maximum financing amount 5 million per SME, and then they've given up to 8 years for you to repay the loan, and it is open, right? They have not given any deadlines and stuff like that. And then again here, there's another facilities that is also given, right? Is on the automation and digitalization facilities. It is 300 million as part of AES, right? That has been allocated. Objective, right, is to incentivize SMEs to automate process and digitalize operations to increase productivity and efficiency. At Liberty Malaysian, right here, you can actually buy equipment such as computer hardware, software, right? What do you call IT solutions and services, technology support services, and other intangible assets to enhance productivity and efficiency, right? So these are some of the fundings, all right? So here, the financing rate is 4%. Maximum amount 3 million per SME. The period is for 10 years and availability will be until 31st December 2020. All right. So these are some of the financing facilities of all the SMEs. So you can actually contact Bank Negara Malaysia. All right. I've also given you the link here. All right. And you can also contact CGC. All right. Phone number is there. Your website is also there. Your email ID is also there. All right. So these are the facilities that is being offered for SME, SMIs, and also for the enterprises. So do you have any questions here? Yes, Dora.
Not from my part, though.
Sorry?
Not from my part. I understand.
Not from your part. Okay. Anybody else who wants to get any further information, or you need further assistance from my part? Anybody? Okay, if you got no questions, right? I know you have been sitting with me for about more than 2 hours. All right. I would like to thank all of you, all right, for joining me. Right? And here again, I would like to actually disclose this information that I will actually email all these slides immediately. There's 1 or 2 small items that I have to make the amendments. Subsequently, I'll email all these slides to MEA, and MEA will actually will email to all of you all, right? At the same time, I'm also going to actually WhatsApp, all right, all the contact number for BSN officers for from all over Malaysia. And I think Isaac, can you please assist all the participants to actually WhatsApp these details?
Okay, I will inform the management to send the details.
Okay. Besides that, any questions here? Do you have got anything that you want to know? Or do you want to?
Not particularly on the issues, but in case something comes across, is it possible to actually send a message or send an email to this?
Or you can send an email. Okay, you can send your emails right to MEA. MEA will direct the email to me, and immediately I will respond because I'm a little free now, right? So I should be able to actually respond within the same day, right? It should not be a problem. All right, all those participants who have actually has come in online, right? You have the privilege for you to ask any assistance on my part, right? I am actually touch base with what's happening for most of the time, right? So you can actually use my services, right? You're most welcome, no problem. Because we are all going through a crisis, we have to help each other.
And because once I got the slides, I will actually forward it to my employer and see what he wants to ask further from that.
Sure. Can.
I catch everything because I've been reading as well. Just that Singaporean, so most probably he wants that slide so that he can understand well.
Sure, sure. You can even, I mean, if MEA permits, if you want to share slides with others, it's okay for me. But I have to actually abide with the MEA because I'm actually representing MEA. But all those who have actually participated, I think shouldn't be a problem. We will definitely share these slides, right?
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. I hope to see you all soon. Right. Thank you for joining me for this online training. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Isaac?